We're doing pretty good.
Yeah, you and I are putting out some real fucking product right now.
Are you guys writing?
He's writing his
H is
game.
writing a book, and I'm writing the narrative campaigns for my game, which are effectively a pair of short stories.
I'm writing fanfiction.
I want to read it.
No, none of
Is
my
it-
friends will ever know who the hell my name is on fanfiction.
Is it slash fiction?
It's smut.
Okay, so it's slash.
My Little Pony smut.
I do not write clop, thank you.
Is it
I
called?
have standards.
Is it called Clop?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
actually called Plop.
That's
What the
wonderful.
fuck?
I have standards. I don't write clop.
No
I
way.
literally just googled BattleTech mech porn, and
And
nothing's coming up right now. Just some naked pictures of pilots.
oh,
Well,
jeez.
you don't look for the pictures. You go to the site.
BattleTech.
Have you ever noticed
mech
that nobody's updating the old like artist
erotic.
renderings? They all looked terrible in the 80s. They all looked like they all looked like somebody from the 50s was drawing somebody from the 70s and putting it in the 31st century.
Okay, here's one. You ready?
In my
Mhm.
first Ryan George voice. Oh my god.
I'm not sure I can legitimately say this without laughing my ass off. So
Try. Do your best.
I
Do your
believe in you.
best. Hell, fucking read us a paragraph.
Read
What
us
if-
some porn,
No,
Jolly.
I'm just reading you the descriptor.
Okay.
What if BattleTech was furry? A mech company was led by a horny femboy wolf who wants zebra cock.
Read it! Read it right now!
It's called Help, My BattleTech Captain is a Size Queen.
I want to hear this right now.
Oh, it comes with pictures.
I like that.
Posted
Ooh,
in
it comes with
Discord.
pictures.
Oh, Jawa, please just do me the service of putting this out on my stream right now so I can highlight the hell out of this. Go ahead and read it. I don't care. Just fucking read it. We're gonna
Go.
face palm together.
Oh god.
And
okay.
if it gets super bad,
Do it.
we'll stop it. But I want to hear this.
I'm
Yes.
giving it a quick glance to make sure it's nothing too
There's
bad.
like the slightest bit of aggression in your tone. You're like, I want to hear this.
Fucking read it.
Okay, it
I
doesn't.
feel like we're discovering Hobbs's newest fetish, and this is like the moment that it emerges.
Okay, it doesn't look like there's anything too bad.
Okay, go for it.
I wouldn't give a shit if it was he placed his swollen cock inside her.
Oh, no, it's worse than that.
Inside their freaking armpit or some shit.
The recruits offered one final salute and began to disperse. When John turned to leave, Ming tilted his chin towards him. John, I'd like to talk with you, Ming said. John tensed.
It's about your butt.
It's about your car insurance policy.
Am I-
It's about your turgid manhood.
Am I in trouble, sir? Ming
No,
shook his
but you're
head.
gonna get a spanking.
Nothing of the sorts. I just wanted to inquire about your prior experience is all. With that, he turned and walked in the opposite direction of the recruits, headed towards a compartment on the north side of the mess hall. He briefly glanced over his shoulder, noticing that John was not only following, but that the zebra's gaze had instinctively fallen to Ming's fantastic ass. Ming may or may not have purposefully worn a specifically designed skin-tight mech suit in order to emphasize it, a secret only known to himself and his closest officers.
A secret known to his closest. It makes it sound like some sort of state secret. He only tells his closest officers that he wears
Standing by.
ass-tight mech suits to show off his booty.
The door to his compartment opened automatically, allowing Mean and the ensign to
Yes,
slip into his
Commander.
private quarters. They were the largest on the ship, but even that was rather modest, offering him little more than a bed, a desk, and enough room for a small bookshelf and lounging
Training
chair.
complete.
Mean
Yeah.
fell into this lounging chair and smiled coyly. So why'd you leave your colonial post? John folded his hands behind his back. Budget cuts, sir. Budget cuts? The colonial administration did not see a need to pay for such a high-cost mech force. They instead invested in a turret defense system. I see, Ming sighed. Shame seeing such a fine mech go to waste. He smirked and nodded towards John. Same goes for the pilot. John's cheeks warmed. Sir? Ming flicked his wrist dismissively. Don't worry about it, Ensign. Just know that you're already miles ahead of any other candidates. Most of them only have experience with tanks and other armored combat vehicles.
This definitely shows my age that my immediate thought is, that's not an appropriate way to treat a subordinate.
Way to put a sentence, yeah.
It's more I'm sitting there like, that's not an appropriate way to treat a subordinate. This sounds like he's being coerced into a sexual relationship.
It's frustrating, but it's hard to find a good quality
Much
pilot
like Top Gun.
Here. I'd believe it, sir, John said. All the best ones are either in the Corps or fanatics join up with one of the various militias popping up around these parts. Makes it kind of hard to try and reestablish law and order, Ming chuckled. And make a good profit while doing so, of course. He rested an elbow against his armrest and placed his cheek upon his knuckle, examining John with a predator's gaze. Has anyone told you that you are a handsome stallion? He asked, grinning coyly. This made John's cheeks brighten to such a wonderful shade of red. Pardon, sir? Just making a casual observation is all. You're a very handsome stallion, John. This did little to abate the heat in John's cheeks. Well, thank you, sir. Which way do your shuttle bay doors open, Ming? Asked with his smile growing.
Which way do your shuttle bay doors open?
Both
oh
ways.
My god.
John drew in a deep breath. I'd have to say they swing in either direction. Just to be completely transparent,
it's an in-hole and an out-hole at the same time.
I did see you checking out my ass earlier, Ensign. Ming's smile grew as John's blush darkened even further, turning to such a lovely, embarrassed shade. John drew in a deep breath and sighed. It's a very fine ass, sir. Damn straight it is. Any creature would be lucky enough to ride it.
This should be a Thursday tradition.
John rocked back and forth on his heels. I'd have to agree. Would you like to have a go at it?
I get to
Ming
choose
asked
between
with such
hellfire or a
casualness,
frozen
like he was
death.
asking John if he could borrow a pencil. John
Roger that.
stiffened. Sir, do you want to rail my ass, Ensign? Ming asked, looking away from John and at his own.
You want to rail my ass, Ensign? Wow, that is.
I mean, it's cool if you don't, but I had a feeling you might be interested.
It's cool if you don't. It's fine. I don't really mind.
Are we even allowed to have a relationship like that? John asked.
It's my unit.
Very. Ming chuckled. I mean, what better way for me to test you and see if I can trust you in my rear?
I mean, if he's cramming a commando in him, he wouldn't be up in the rear. He'd be way up in the front. But continue.
That is a little on the nose, sir. I don't really care for beating around the bush.
I'll be a little on your nose.
I'm unshaven, sir.
John pursed his lips and nodded. Well, in that case, yes, I'd be game for fucking your ass, sir.
As a bisexual man who has been with men, this is not how we flirt.
Ming grinned and leaned forward. Glad you hear it, Ensign. He slowly got out of his chair and moved seductively towards John, giving a little extra swing to his step as he approached. John relaxed a smidge and Ming took advantage, placing a pair of fingers against his strong chest, brushing them against his olive-colored tunic. Ming's fingers trailed downwards at a tantalizing pace, until finally he came upon his desired destination, cupping a nice handful of John's crotch. He could feel the stallion's pride as it had begun to emerge from its sheath, filling the palm of his hand nicely. What would it look like when it was fully erect?
Oh my god.
Ming honestly couldn't wait.
Wait a second, you need to say 18 plus because wasn't there an issue with that the other day?
In my stream title?
Yeah.
Okay.
You should probably make a note of that.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, I need water.
We're getting to the best part.
He kneaded the bulge gently, massaging it through the coarse fabric of John's garb. He could feel the stallion shiver, a masculine little moan bubbling in the back of his throat. His hand stopped for a moment and trailed a degree upward, 2 of his fingers grasping the zipper of John's pants. He drew it downward in one fluid motion, allowing John's attire to concede against its cargo as his erection spilled forth and into Ming's awaiting hand.
Can I interrupt for a moment? Because this is really funny. Mel just emailed me and said, "So what are you up to?" And I wrote, "Listening to Joe, read Mech Warrior Furry erotic fanfiction on stream." And she sends back, "Spicy." And then a moment later, "Wait, what?"
I love you guys.
Continue.
John's cock was impressive, already several inches long.
I love how you're reading this now.
She's like really like putting emphasis on it. I'm so here for it.
It was a mottled combination of white and black splotches, matching the tone of his fur.
Stop for just a second. Curry, if the BattleTech cartoon had been like this, people would have watched it, and it would have gone on for more than a season. Gmod says, what the fuck? This is the stupidest shit I've ever heard. Mechs and furries.
John chuckled. Going to be completely honest, this is my first time. Ming nodded and sunk to his knees, taking up position right in front of John. He breathed in slowly, drawing in the simply divine and tantalizing smell of John's erection.
I'm so tired of listening to erotic fiction where they describe a man's penis as smelling tantalizing. It does not smell tantalizing. I have yet to meet the man whose dick stench is good.
John, for his part, grew more tense, allowing an electric shudder to course through his entire form. A low moan oozed forth from his parted lips.
I'm just picturing him tasering himself in the throat at an electric shudder.
Oh my god.
He let an electric shudder to course through his body. Oh yeah, baby!
Let me get the taser.
Remember, low power only this time.
Baby, you gonna get that cattle prod.
Allowing him to know what a good job he was doing upon his knees.
I'm a good boy, Daddy.
Ming drew back and offered a coy smolder. Well, here's a piece of advice from someone who has a long history of fucking officers. Just do what comes naturally. Yes, sir. John moaned, his body shuddering as Ming went back down. Ming took John's tip back between his lips and suckled crudely upon it, drawing the rich flavor from the source.
Oh, for God's sake, the flavor. Anytime I'm like, you've never sucked a dick. If you're writing this, you have never sucked a dick, because no. Just no. Ladies in the Twitch chat, back me up. Just no.
I don't even want to play anymore. This is great.
His tongue rolled around John's tip, coating it in a thin layer of saliva, and allowing the zebra's protein pre-cum to grace his palate. The poor stallion tasted pent up, like he hadn't been given a proper blowjob in far too long. This, of course, meant that Ming would have to make this evening extra special. After all, the duties of a commander extended far beyond the battlefield. It was also his job to ensure that his troops, even the fresh-faced recruits, were given enough rest, and to ensure that this rest was of adequate quality.
That's nicely put, actually.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah, it's well worded.
After a few more laps of John's head, Ming bobbed deeper, allowing the zebra's shaft to glide along his tongue. He wouldn't lie, this trooper had an absolutely phenomenal tasting cock.
God,
you're laughing that hard.
Oh my god.
Tell us not like a little piggy.
Definitely the best he had sucked since his last campaign. Ming bobbed shallowly, traveling the first few inches of John's erection in curt little motions, his feminine hair bouncing every time he switched directions between going deeper and drawing back. As he inched forward, his tongue continued its swift little cycles.
But I like is that we've got more watchers right now than we had earlier, which means people have tuned in for this.
When he drew back to the
Nobody wants to chat because they don't want to admit that this is great.
both to draw in a steady breath and to allow John's salty and absolutely delectable pre-cum to pool upon his tongue. It was an addictive flavor, one of potent masculinity.
I'm sorry, the line of delectable pre-cum has killed me. That is what? Like Evie, I keep muting and checking back to see if it's over.
I'm sweating. I'm
Delectable,
sweating from laughing
delectable
so hard.
pre-cum.
Ming had no doubt that he'd love to cram his muzzle into John's sack.
I'm just
The zebra had worked out
send that
into
to Mel.
drinking his masculine musk. Soon enough, his bobbing had advanced to such a point that his tightly pressed lips made contact with John's medial ring. Ming stopped as he reached it, pausing for a moment to look up at him. The zebra seemed tense, his posture rigid and jaw clenched. This was not a stallion who was properly enjoying himself.
No.
Ming drew back swiftly, pulling off at John with a nice wet pop. He licked his lips slowly, enjoying the last vestiges of John's flavor. Am I not satisfying you, Ensign? Ming asked, let it out a frustrated puff of breath. Because you're acting like your sister is giving you a blowjob. John's cheeks warmed. Just worried about making a bad first impression, sir. Ming pouted and forcefully prodded John's stomach, causing the zebra to suck in a breath. Ensign, do you know how to face fuck someone? Now, if you want a position on my team, you better fuck my face silly. Do you understand? John snapped off a salute. Sir, yes, sir.
Neil to be watching if he's not already. If you are watching stream, you need to be.
Ming smirked and drew back
Oh my-
towards John's dick, taking it between his lips once again and bobbing forward in one swift motion. His lips were fluid as he moved seamlessly from John's leaking tip to the pulsating medial ring in a matter of seconds, returning
What is
to this
the medial ring? Oh god, why am I Googling it?
We're gonna pause for this one. I want to know what a medial ring is.
It's
No. Let's hear it.
It seems to be the base of the shaft when it comes out of the sheath.
on a horse.
On a horse.
Oh my god.
Nature's face of just, what?
Oh my god.
No!
Okay. Got it. We have this information. Let's go.
That is never going to leave my Google search history. That is.
As Ming gasped for breath, he could see and feel strands of saliva mixed with pre and other less pleasant
I feel like
substances.
Sam's gonna hit me the next time he
Spiderweb
sees me.
away from his lips and connect it with the pulsating mammoth of a cock, which just hovered off the bridge of his snout. Sir, are you okay? Ming waved him off. I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm good.
His voice sounded raspy.
I'm fine.
So that was to
It's
sound
fine, it's good, it's all good.
Zanil says,
That's
yeah, I'm out.
collectible pre-cum.
Do you want me to? Ming's gaze narrowed. I want to kiss your pelvis, Ensign. Do you understand?
Oh my god! This is the most aggressive blowjob I've ever seen. In my life.
John opened his mouth to speak, but Ming cut him off.
Turn around. Give me your sweet brown eye.
He repeated, sounding far more assured. John closed his mouth and drew a deep breath through his nose.
When do we get to the mechs?
Medial rings.
John panted heavily and maintained his iron grip onto Ming's hair. His chest rose and fell, and his cock twitched. Every little shudder felt through Ming's well-used throat. He remained buried within the wolf's maw for a few moments before easing back slowly. As he left Ming's throat, the wolf hungrily sucked down for a breath, the air tainted by John's musk, as the faint streams of oxygen needed to bypass the erection still wedged between his mouth. His throat ached so much, but John wasn't done yet. Instead, the zebra began to piston his hips roughly, bucking into Ming's maw and giving it a proper rutting. His heavy frame labored over top of Ming, his form tense and left absolutely ragged by the pace he was attempting to maintain. By this point, Ming has pretty much resigned himself to going limp, allowing John to take control. Though with one single exception, his hand as he continued to stroke the bulge in his uniform.
Well, and hopefully the penis, too. So just get back to that one. He's just going limp. I mean, it says a lot of things. Let's make sure it doesn't say that.
You know what the worst part is that this means this person has done real research on how a zebra comes. Like their Google history includes how do zebras ejaculate? Wait, hold on. Mel's newest response is great. I sent soon enough the zebra gripped Ming's ponytail, pumping into the wolf's maw, and she's just written back, I wish my dyslexia was worse. I love the fact that this is so bad that Mel literally wishes she was more disabled.
The thing is we're about to get to the actual screwing part.
Wait, this isn't the
This
end? I
isn't
thought
the
we were
fucking
finally
what
done.
the hell?
I thought this hell was finally over and we were free.
No.
Suntide says, I can only hear snap into a Slim Jim when she says that. Which also is salty and has a manly musk to it.
A masculine, depraved flavor. That's how I'm going to describe Slim Jims from now on. If my nephew asks me what a Slim Jims taste like, I'm going to look at him and say they have a very masculine, salty, depraved flavor.
Oh God!
You're welcome, internet.
Go fuck yourself.